the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Monday night, and I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight is Bible study night. I don't know why I did that. It just seemed like the thing to do. How's it going out there on your Mondays? Are you feeling good? Are you ready? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you wore out? How's the week going so far? Just starting? Mine is. I hope everybody's having a good time tonight, and I hope you're ready for a good one, because we're going to go down deep into the hole tonight and learn all about what goes on in Exodus. Let's see who's with me. Amy's first in chat. Amy says, hamburger help her hand. Hi, Amy. Amanda says, Amy, here's your gold star for being first in chat. Pa-pow. You're getting quite a collection of those things, aren't you? And Amanda says, hamburger help her hand, Amy. And hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see y'all. I hope everybody had a good day. Hiya, Jake. How are you tonight? I am. Yep. How are you? Angela's here. She says, hello. Oh, hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Amanda says, Angela, hamburger, help her hand. And Judy's here. She says, hey, Jake and Amanda. Hi, Judy. Nice to see you. Come on in. Take your shoes off. Amanda says, hi, Judy. Hamburger, help her hand. Judy says, hey, Amy and Angel. Amanda says, here's the link to the chilling page if anyone wants to check it out. Because, eventually I'm going to say that and you'll need a link. But until then, drink some coffee. All right. Don't you want to have a cup with me? You know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, support, join. Super chats are available in the chat box. You want to show a little bit of love? You want to... You can do that. CashApp $ Jake Johnson Band or PayPal.me/Jake Johnson Band. And I mucho appreciato. Also, go check out the website. Facebook.com/UntetheredLive Chillin'. You know the stuff that's over there. I have to keep saying it. And, there's stuff down there. Check it out. You want a set of drums? They're down there. You want the guitar that I play? It's down there. Check it out. You want a completely random hat? It's down there. What else is down there? I don't know. Just, who knows? A snow globe might be down there. You have to keep looking. Maybe one day. Angela Ashkins is here. She says, hello all. Hi, Angela. I think I did this already. Yep, I did this already. I'm at the chilling page link. Right, okay. Keep it on going. Linda Davis is here. She says, hamburger help her hand all. Linda, how are you? Nice to see you. Amanda says, hamburger help her hand, Linda. Then my chat jumped. Aaron's here. He says, Exodus is the movement of Jah people. Jah, Rastafari. Wait, what? Yes, it is the movement of the peoples. They moved that way. Quickly. Sorry. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you. Aaron's here. He says, Amanda says, hamburger upper hand, Aaron. Aaron says, sings Bob Marley. You thought I wouldn't catch on to that, didn't you? I did. I know who Jah is. Linda Davis says, hi, Aaron. Starry-eyed, smiley face. Aaron says, fat hand all around. Fat purple hand all around. I had one of those last week. Aaron says, hi, Linda, good to see you. Amanda says, I want a pickle, friend. You want a pickle, friend? That's weird. Why would you want a pickle, friend? Or you want a pickle, a friend? Which is it? Judy says, hey, Linda and Aaron. Linda says, hamburger upper hand, Judy. Amy says, I'm not having a good day. I'm sorry. Why are you not having a good day? What can I do to make it better? Aaron says, hi, Judy. And Judy says, sorry, Amy. I wasn't having a very good day either. And then I got home. And I had a nice pulled pork dinner waiting for me and a nap-ish. I didn't quite go to sleep. I got hornswoggled by Timu. He sucked me in. But I did get a rest, and I feel much better now. Linda says, what's up, Amy? And what can we do for you, Amy? Lend us your ear, or let us lend you our ear. Today is a bad day all around, says Aaron. Well, what's wrong with you? What's going on in your world? Or are the two connected? If so, prayers. Timu got Jake. Oh, dang. He got me. He sucked me in. It's kind of hard. You're laying there minding your own business and your phone dings and you pick it up and it says, you get a free gift. Well, what in the hell could that be? And next thing you know, an hour later, you're scrolling. It got me. No connection. Amy says, you mean the internet? You don't have any internet? That's terrible. Aaron says, I did something real stupid. What did you do? Aaron says, Amy, we're always connected. Amen. And Judy says, uh-oh, Aaron, what did you do? I've been on the verge of doing something real stupid all day. I just hadn't done it yet. I plead the fifth. Well, you brought it up. You can't plead the fifth. It was your idea to talk about it. So tell us. Amy says, I had to clean up after someone stupid. Why do students try to flush anything and everything down the toilet? Because they're young and they think it's funny. And they don't take into account somebody has to clean that thing. If they were made to clean those things with a toothbrush about once a month, they would stop doing that. April Rain's here. She says, hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Hi, April. Oh, Aaron says, let's say I sent a text to my director that wasn't for him. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I hear you. I hate it when that happens. And Amanda says, it is job security, Amy. Yeah, dumb children will keep you in work, that's for sure. Amanda says, April, hamburger upper hand. And Aaron says, and I may have beheaded myself. Well, I hope not. I hope not. Maybe you can explain it to him that it wasn't meant for him, and maybe it wasn't a big old purple one-eyed monster. Maybe it was just a oops. Maybe he has a sense of humor. Maybe you'll get lucky. Amy says, no connection between me, my bad day, and Aaron's bad day. Oh, no connection between the two. I got you. Linda says, April, hamburger upper hand. Judy says, oh, crap, Aaron. And Amanda says, oops, Aaron. Judy says, hey, April. Aaron says, Amy, you are loved beyond the walls. Amen to that. April says, hi, Amanda, Jake, Amy, Aaron, Judy, Linda. Hugs. Smiley faces. Heart. Hey, hugs back at you. Judy says, yes, You are too, Aaron. Aaron says it was about a coworker, so yeah. Hopefully he has a sense of humor. Amy says, hi, everyone in chat and the lurkers. Hello. Hello to you all, obviously. Amber Grounds is here. She says, good evening, friends. I'm very happy to see everyone. Well, we're very happy to see you, too. You are a sweet nectar in a otherwise gloomy day. Aaron says, I'd rip the wall down for you. And Amanda says, Amber, hamburger, upper hand, or and back. April says, hi, Amber, heart, smiley face. Amy says, oh, you're such a sweetheart, Aaron. He is that. Linda says, hi, Amber, wavy hand. I have been on the edge of my nerves for the last 2 weeks. And Friday got the better of me. And Monday, I've been dreading it all day because I'm right there at that point of explosion. And it was an easy day. And so I just postponed it to the next day. We'll see. Maybe it'll go away. Amy says, glitter grounds, wavy hand, or hamburger helper hand, sorry. Amber says, y'all don't ever tell my grown children I'm sweet. Don't worry. I don't even know who they are. April says, LOL. And Aaron says, I feel you, Jake. I basically did that in text. Yeah. It's one of those things where I had enough like a month ago, and I just been gritting my teeth and pushing forwards anyway. And at some point, there's going to be a conversation that's going to be violent. And I'm trying very hard to avoid that. So maybe it'll go away. Maybe it'll fester. Who knows? It's just one of those things that's out there. Judy says, hey, Amber. Amber says, I no doubt enjoy them thinking I'm mean. Oh, yeah. Your kids have got to be scared of you. Amy says, I'm just having one of those days. I wish I could retire. Well, tonight, tire. And tomorrow, you can retire. Aaron says, I've reached burnout. Yeah, me too, I think. Amber says, Judy, hearts. And April says, hi, Angel, double heart. Amber says, y'all need a doobie and a bubble bath. I'll take the bubble bath. I can't handle the doobie. I definitely could use some Calgon take me away time. Debbie's here. Debbie says, hamburger upper hand. Hey, Debbie. Aaron says, Amy, that may be arranged. Amber says, Debbie. And Amanda says, Debbie, hamburger upper hand. April says, amen. Amber. Smiley face. Amanda says, yes, exactly, Amber. Smiley face. But you guys can do the doobie. I can't do it. I'll watch. Linda says, hamburger upper hand, Debbie. April says, hi, Debbie. Heart, heart. And Judy says, hey, Debbie. Amber says, Miss Hammer. Hearts and smiley faces. Aaron says, Jake, hold the match. I got the gas. Right? April says, ha-ha. It's one of those things that I need to control myself because just because I'm burnt out don't mean I should act on it. That's a me problem. I shouldn't take it out on anybody else. But, you know, sometimes it just get on your last damn nerve. Debbie says, well, I am glad it's just not me. Today I found out the Jeep needs $3,000 worth of work and the car needs new brakes and my electric bill is $1,400. What a great day. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. Well, that part of my life is actually getting better. Way better than it was a week ago. Aaron says, remember the show back in the day when they used to trade houses? Like wife swap or whatever? They need to bring that back, but make it real and make people trade houses and occupations. And I think that all the CEOs and think that and I think that all the CEOs, yeah. The heck they censored big companies' managers. I don't know. Amanda says, dang, Debbie. Judy says, holy shit, Debbie. Amber says, Debbie, sit in rotation. Is that a nice way of saying sit and spin? What are we saying there, Amber? When it rains, it pours, Debbie, says Linda. Yes, it does. And it was pouring last week, but then I got an umbrella, and I'm so grateful for that umbrella because it fixed a lot of problems. Aaron says, I think I'm too reactive too, Jake. Yes, you are, and I am too. And that's a thing we both have to work on because it is an us problem. And when we reactive, other people pay for it. And sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes they don't. Amy says, I posted that comment about what really happened in the Garden of Eden. I have people calling me blasphemous and a sinner because they can't accept the truth and they are prudish. Yes, and you'll have that. It's not easy to walk the path that we're walking because it's the path that tells the truth, and most people have sugar-coated everything. So I warn you ahead of time, and I have before, people aren't ready to accept the truth in some cases. It was never going to be easy to come out and say all the true things. I already knew that. But if you want to go out there and start saying the truth, you can, but be prepared for people to not accept it at first. They'll eventually come around to your way of thinking because it's the truth and there's no other way to look at it. Once they start digging and trying to disprove you, then they'll see that you're right. And then it'll take them a little while to swallow their pride and admit that you're right, but they will. But it ain't ever going to be easy to tell the truth. People don't get in trouble for lying. They get in trouble for telling the truth. Amber says, y'all check the basement. Debbie is already in the mood. The basement. What? Is Kevin down there? Amber says, rotation of the doobie, Jake. Oh, I see. Well, the way you said it, sit in rotation, all I heard was sit and spin. You know. Amanda says, tag Jake in it, Amy. Tag Jake in it, Amy, and he can shut them down. He likes to do that. Well, I can do that. I don't necessarily like it, but I can do it. Debbie says, ha, 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 Amber, it's all good. And Aaron says, I can't type what I wanted to say. It keeps turning it gray. I'm sorry. I guess that's YouTube's new censorship thing. Amy says, pearl-clutching Christians up in arms about Adam and Eve having a threesome. Well, like I said, just ask them where they think the seed came from and what they think that means. And why did they cover their private parts with fig leaves when God was coming? Amy says, I did, Amanda, but it ended up deleting the comment. But I ended up deleting the comment. I hear you. Amanda says, oh. And Amber says, umbrella. Yes, sometimes that's a wonderful gift. Aaron says, dang, I might be the a-hole. Not necessarily. That ain't what I meant. What I meant was, sometimes we have to be the bigger man. Because sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes they don't. But I don't know the situation, but I would imagine they deserve it. we as Christians and men of God, we have to figure out how to be the bigger man, to take the safer step, to calm the situation, to stand above the fray, if possible. It's not always possible. It certainly ain't easy. Amy says you have to say it under a certain amount of characteristics, Aaron. Characters, Aaron. Bill Bennett says, hello all. I remember still no notification. I'm sorry, I sent one out. 6 o'clock. Amanda says, if it turns gray, Aaron, that just means there's too many letters. Send it, then finish typing the rest. And Aaron says, I did, Amy. It still censored it. I'm sorry. That's not anything I can control. Amanda says, hamburger upper hand, Bill. Amber says, Bill, hearts. And Amanda says, well, I don't know, Aaron. I get the gist of it. I understand what you're going through. In this case, not possible. I hear you. Well, do what you got to do, man. Just make sure that you're proud of yourself at the end of it. If you feel justified in standing your ground and doing what you got to do, then by all means do it, because sometimes you do need to. If it's one of those cases where you're just getting frustrated and you realize that the other person ain't really trying to frustrate you, it's just that's the way it's working out, then you might need to step back and be the bigger man. Keep your mouth shut. But if it's one of those situations where he's really affecting you and he's doing it on purpose, maybe you need to come out of the bag and shake him up a little bit. Sometimes that's necessary. I won't think any less of you either way, but only you can make that judgment. Aaron says, but I'm kind most of the time. Yeah, I know that. Cowboys 8 Panel says, hi, everyone. Hi, Cowboys. Nice to see you. Nice to see you at the beginning of the show. Amber says, anyone else fighting a runny nose and a stuffy nose? Yes, me. It's that time of year, so might as well stock up on the Flonase or whatever you call it. Nasal stuff. Flomax, whatever it's called. I think it's Flonase. Flomax is for peeing, right? I can't remember. It's one of those flows. Amy says, liked, shared, and invited some friends. And did y'all remember to hit that like button? Thank you. Yes. Amanda says, Cowboys, hamburger upper hand. Linda says, hi, Cowboy. Amber says, Cowboy, heart. Amber says, hi, Cowboys, smiley face heart. Amanda says, no, Amber, but it sounds like you are built upside down, LOL. Say what? It sounds like you're built upside down because her nose is running? I don't get it. Amber says, Miss Hammer, it's turning me into a mouth breather. That I get. My nose is so stopped up half the time I can't breathe out of it. Just breathe out of my mouth. She's built upside down. The nose runs and the feet smell. Oh, I see. That makes sense. We'll get started here in just a couple minutes, guys. We're just getting comfortable and making sure everybody's settled in and who's going to show up. Aaron says, it's more like this is a war I can't win. Maybe the battle. Maybe. Maybe you got to put somebody in their place. Maybe somebody needs putting in their place. Just be sure you'll feel good at the end of it. That's all I'm saying. If you don't feel good at the end of it, it ain't the right thing to do. Amber says, thank goodness my feet don't smell. How do you know? Your nose don't work. Stick your tongue down there and lick them and see if they taste bad. Amanda says, LOL, Amber. Bill Bennett says, the battle within. Right. Aaron says, but I'm not wrong. Double standards. I got to pray for peace. Well, that's true. There are double standards. And it ain't a fair world by any stretch of the imagination. I have no doubt you're making the right call, but, just think about it, and if you feel right about it, do what you got to do. And don't look back. April says, hi, Bill Love, heart. Amber says, somebody done somebody wrong song. I used to love that song. Another somebody done somebody wrong song. Amy says, I did find some good in today. I found a video of Kermit the Frog singing Gin and Juice. Nice. That's a good up-looking afternoon. Debbie says, licking toes. Now you're talking. Linda says, hamburger helper hand, Bill. Bill says, I haven't been able to bite my toes in years, LOL. I can't even look at mine, let alone bite them. April says, ha, Amy. Thumbs up and smiley face. Amanda says, LOL, right, Debbie? Smiley face. Amber says, I can touch my nose with my toes and they don't smell. But you just said your nose didn't work. Stopped up, remember? So how you know they don't smell? Did you let somebody else smell them and get their opinion? That's what I would do. Get a second opinion. Hey, smell this. Your toes smell like foxes. I have foxy feet. April says, cool, Amber. Thumbs up. Aaron says, I'd feel good, but it will cost more than I can lose. That's also another issue. And that's the boat I'm in. If I let go of what I got, it'll cost me more than I can lose. For sure. It'll make me have to go back to looking for a job. So I got to figure out a way to reel in what I got to say. Or at least be prepared to say it. You know those situations where you can start the clock on the explosion? You know it's coming, it just hadn't got there yet, but at some point it's gonna happen and everything's gonna fall apart. That's one of those moments. Aaron says, I think Exodus is telling me what to do. Launch 10 plagues and kill the firstborn of every living thing in the building? Don't do that. And Bill says, they're not going to let you tell the truth. Well, they're trying not to. I get shadow banned quite a lot. But that ain't going to stop me from saying it. That might stop other people from hearing it, but I'm going to say it. I figure if the Lord blesses it, they can't stop it. So we just have to see what God has in store. I don't push this show. I don't promote this show. I don't try to get people to come to it. I just put it out and let God do with it what he pleases. If he wants it to be, 18 people, then 18 people will hear what I got to say. If he wants it to be 18,000 people, then 18,000 people will hear what I got to say. That's his prerogative. I'm just the news anchor. That's all. Bill says, amen. Aaron says, rolling down the creek, smoking horseflies, sipping on mosquito juice, laid back. Right on. And Bill says, I've tried to push it. Cowboy says, smiley, smiley. Sipping on gin and juice. That's a good cup of coffee. All right. We might as well get after it, shall we? If you got your Bibles handy, crack them open to that great book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 20. That's where we left off last night. That's where we're picking up tonight. Amber says, with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. That's right. Let's go down, shall we? And it reads. There it says, I think I did it, Jake, so mine is done. I hear you, brother. Well, let me know how it works out, and don't get yourself in a bind. Obviously, if you need anything, let me know. All right, so we've crossed the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's army and all of his chariots and all of his men have been drowned in the recoil of the ocean, and the Israelites are crossed on the other side in Arabia. They've crossed from Egypt into Arabia, and they're safe. So now they turn to go journey towards Mount Zion, where they're going to meet God and get the 10 Commandments. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. They started celebrating with music because they just walked across the ocean on dry land and defeated an army of men by holding up a stick. That's pretty celebratory. Aaron says, you can't shadow me, YouTube. I'm already dark. Whoa. Get him, Aaron. My secret weapon. And Miriam answered them, saying, sing ye to the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. Now they're starting to get a little thirsty. Remember, they didn't bring a whole lot with them. They didn't have time to cook. They stopped at a place on the way and made some snacks, maybe got a jug or two of water. But they don't have anything prepared. They don't have victuals. They're in the desert. That's what wilderness means, desert. And there's no water. So they're getting nervous. But when they came to Moriah, they could not drink of the waters of Moriah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Moriah, which means bittered waters. Or Mara, M-A-R-A-H, Mara, not Moriah, no I, Mara. And the people murmured against Moses already. They've been 3 days. 3 days. And they're already talking about Moses behind his back because he hadn't given them no water. Think about that. They've been slaves for 450 years, beat with whips and made to make bricks with their bare hands and tote them. And in 3 days, they're murmuring, talking about, we need to go back to Egypt. At least there we had water. 3 days. That's how weak they are. That's every Republican who is turning on Trump right now. 2 weeks into a war. Every single one is saying, are you proud you voted for Trump? Why, yes. Yes, I am. It takes effort to make a thing happen. It ain't always going to go the way you want it to. Sometimes it's going to get tough. Then it gets better. The hard work will pay off. And so forth and so on. Don't be weak. That's what I'm saying. Stand your ground. Be proud of who you voted for. Stick with the man when he's trying. Just because he says a thing you disagree with or does a thing you don't exactly want, look at the bigger picture. Know what he's trying to achieve. That's what you voted for. Anyway, 3 days and they're murmuring against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. I wanted something to drink, God. You gave me a tree. What am I supposed to do with that? Which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. See, I'm thinking. Now, you come up on this place, Mara, in the water, I'm guessing sulfur or salty or something like that. They're pretty close to the salt flats and the salt sea and all of that. So I'm guessing it was probably too salty to drink and make you sick. Anyway, I'm guessing it's some kind of mint tree or something that would suck up the salt, made the waters drinkable. By casting the tree into the water, it made the water then drinkable. This is called science. It's called chemistry. And I'm sure you can look up the actual meaning of this, what it is scientifically, and that it is factually accurate that this will work. If you can discern what kind of bitter the water was, then you can discern what kind of tree they put into the water to make it drinkable. But it made the water sweet, and there he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them and said, "If thou wilt diligently hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all of his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee." So there's a promise to you, the person who's listening. I want you to think about this. This is the caveat, right? This is the thing. If then is how God works. If you will follow his commandments and keep his statutes and his ordinances and do what he tells you to do and do that which is right in his sight, then he will put none of the diseases upon thee which have been brought upon Egypt. None. That includes death of the firstborn. Think about that. Think about what God is saying to you. All I want you to do is what I want you to do. If you'll do it, I'll take care of you. I'll fulfill your needs. I'll make sure your needs are met. If you'll do what you're supposed to do. It's not that hard. I am the Lord that heals you, says God. If you want to be healed, then do what he told you to do. If you're not being healed, look into your life and see what it is that you're not doing, that you're supposed to be. And then start doing it and watch and see if you don't get healed. They came to Elim, where were 12 wells of water, and 80, that's 20, 40, 60, and 10 palm trees, 70 palm trees. That number is significant. 70 pops up a lot. So this is a place, and it's still there to this day. You can find the 70 palm trees today in Elim. You can trace their route and find this oasis. It's still there. And they encamped there by the waters. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai in Arabia. On the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt, that would be May, 15th day of May, the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. They just left an oasis with 12 wells. Remember, they were worried about drinking before. They didn't have any water. Do you think they collected some water to take with them? No. They just immediate satisfaction, right? Gratification, immediate gratification. Drink right now. Don't think about the future. Don't prepare for the journey ahead. When you get there, you just complain a lot. But while you're here in the oasis with all the water, you're swimming around in it and sucking it up and wasting it and doing whatever you're going to do and enjoying life. But the moment you get into peril in the desert, a couple of days out, you start turning against the people that are trying to lead you somewhere. Don't turn against the people that are leading you. Follow them. Might get you further. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God, I swear to God, if we died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full, you remember when we would eat full, we'd get full and be happy in Egypt? It would have been better if we died by the hand of God, because at least in Egypt we were full and happy. You sick, twisted, whiny-ass people. Hard-headed. Do you not understand the flesh pots that you sat by were against you? That's what hurt you. God liberated you out of Egypt, and now you're free. Now you're a sovereign people unto yourselves. And all you can think about is going back to be a slave, because that's the mentality you have. Plantation mentality. Think about it. And when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Wah, 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 wah. Heaven forbid they actually go hunt or bake a cake or anything. Just whine about what they don't have. Never mind that they are still being led by God. Pillar of smoke during the day, a pillar of fire at night. They're still following God. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or not. I'll feed you to make sure that you're okay. Then we're going to find out if you're going to actually follow my laws or not. Because it's not free. Nothing is free. If somebody's taking care of you, it costs something. You have to do something to deserve what's being given to you. It's not free. But God will rain bread from heaven for you if you'll follow his laws. Do you not see that? And then he says, let them pick up what they need for the day and not even worry about it. Just leave the rest on the ground. Don't collect it for tomorrow. Just take what you need for today. I'll give you more tomorrow. That's where faith comes in. Have faith that there will be more tomorrow. And it shall come to pass on the 6th day, they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Why? Because the next day is the Sabbath, and they can't go out and prepare. So on the 6th day, they double up. They get twice as much as they need. So on the 7th day, they don't have to go out and forage for anything, because you don't work on the Sabbath. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at evening, then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then you shall know the glory of the Lord. You shall see the glory of the Lord. For that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord, and what we are that you murmur against us. What are we that you murmur against us? You murmur against God. What are we? We're one of you. You're murmuring against us like we have some control over the desert. No, we're all in this together, going towards the promised land. I'm as hungry as you are. You just don't hear me bitching about it. I'm as thirsty as you are. I need as much as you need. My life is just as hard as your life is. I'm having just as much trouble as you're having, but yet you murmur at me because of it, like I can change it. I can't. I can't even control my life. How can I fix yours? This is what Moses is thinking. But God has told you, we're in this thing called a church, and it is headed up by the Almighty God, and He has the infinite power. He can do all things. Tell Him, and then wait for His reply, because He will reply. He will rain bread from heaven to satiate you if you'll just do what He wants you to do. He will throw a tree in a bitter river and make it something you can drink just for you, because He's that kind of God. And Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, meat, like, whatever they're going to eat, bread. And in the morning, bread to the full. So in the evening, flesh, and in the morning, bread. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Till you're full. Don't keep more for yourself. Don't hoard it. Don't pile it up. Just eat what you need, and the rest will be there tomorrow. For that the Lord heareth your murmurings, which you murmured against Him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. We're one of you. You're not hurting me with your whining. You're hurting God, because He's the one leading us. I'm just the reporter. Moses says, I'm just the guy in front with the stick. That's all. God is the guy leading us. I'm following Him too. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for He hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the clouds. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening you shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at evening quails came up, little birds, and they just covered the camp. They just fell on the camp, ready to be picked out. Quails are not especially aggressive. They're pretty easy to catch, especially if you run up on a herd of them, or whatever you call it, a murder of quails. I don't know what you call it. And so you've got chicken, basically. It tastes like chicken. Little chickens. Squab! Anyway, and in the morning the dew lay around about the host. How about that? When the dew that lay was gone, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. What? We're talking mushrooms, buddy. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna. Manna means, what the hell is that? That's what manna means. What the heck is that? But manna is kind of like a mushroom. It grew out of the dew, but it's bread. It does the same thing bread does to the body. Does that make sense? It's kind of a fungus among us, kind of bready, kind of yeasty, not real sure. I've never seen manna, but manna means what the heck is that? So they didn't know what it was either. When the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, what the heck is that? Manna? for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. Just don't eat the one with the little red ring around it, because you'll trip balls for days in it. We're not going to get anything done if you guys are talking to dolphins. Don't do that. Just eat the bread. No mechanical elves in the workshops, please. Turtles all the way down, anybody? This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer, which is a container like a bowl, for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. Don't overdo it. Don't double up. Don't hoard. Don't get more than you need. Take what you need according to how many people are living with you. Feed everybody enough. Let the rest lay on the ground. If you store it up, it will rot. You cannot store it up. Don't try. It'll rot as soon as you put more in than you need. You can only eat what you can eat. It don't last very long. Just eat what you have this morning. It'll fill you up, and it'll give you energy, and that's all you need. This is a lesson in humility. It's a lesson in being gracious for the gift you've received and not being selfish and hoarding up more than you can carry, making someone else do without. And the children of Israel did so and gathered some more and some less, because you can't beat out of the hide what's in the blood, if you know what I'm saying. And when they did meet with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till morning. Don't eat a little and save some for later. Don't take more than you need and put some up for later. Just eat what you need right now, and tomorrow it'll be here again. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. I told you not to save that. I told you not to hoard it. This is just for you to eat today. And also, you're tripping balls, I can tell. You're seeing worms and stuff. You shouldn't have ate that red one. Don't be glutton. God is providing you with food. Don't be a glutton. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. You can't keep it. You can only eat what is there for you to eat. It's there provided to you by God, and there's just enough to fill you up. You cannot store it up. This isn't about your profit. It's about making sure you have something to eat, and that's it. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, 2 bowls for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, well, yeah, God told you could gather more on the 6th day, remember? It won't go bad, because God makes it go bad if you get too much, right? But this is for the Sabbath, so it'll hold. And they said unto him, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see that ye will seethe. Seethe that ye will seethe. I guess that means prepare. Seethe is a way you make bread, make seething, sifting flour. Anyway, it's saying prepare what you're going to eat for 2 days. And that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until morning. And they laid it up until morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein. because God told them to do that, right? So again, that's how I know this is a lesson in humility. The reason that the worms came and ate the bread and the reason it stank to high heaven is because God is trying to teach these people to live within their means, to not be glutton, to not overdo their hunger, right? To not be greedy. You got to work as a team. There's 1 million people here or better. There's, I think it was like 600,000 men, not counting women and children, and then goats and cattle. And you've got a long way to go. You got to live within your means. You got to be a team player. You can't hoard more than what you are going to eat. But on the Sabbath day, you can have an extra day's rations, and it will not go bad. Moses said, "Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. It will not be there." That's why you're allowed to keep it an extra day on that day. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. There will be no gathering either. There will be nothing to gather, so you won't have anything to gather for. So prepare for your future for that day. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the seventh day for to gather, and they found none. Well, he told you there wouldn't be any. And the Lord said unto Moses, "How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws?" How long are you going to do that? He says, "See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day bread for 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place, and let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. And yet, here you are, digging around in the dirt, looking for more bread. Are you that greedy? How long is it going to be before you start paying attention to my laws? Do you not understand that I will take care of you? You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be stingy or greedy or, picky or whatever it is you are. You don't have to be that. Know that God will provide what you have need of in the time you need it. It may not always be what you want, but it'll always be what you need, and he'll provide it. I promise. I'm living proof of that. So he's telling these people that are out there digging in the ground on the 7th day, what are you doing? Today's the Sabbath day. You're not supposed to be out of your tent working. Go rest. I gave you this day to rest. Go do it. I gave you enough food yesterday to last all day today. Go rest. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. It was like coriander seed. It was white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. So now you know what manna tastes like and looks like. If you know what a coriander seed looks like. It had that consistency. It was bread, mushroom-ish thingy. I don't know what it was. What the heck is that? That's what manna means. So they named that place. What the heck is that? And Moses said, "This is the thing which the Lord commandeth. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. Take one bowl and fill it with this manna and keep it. It won't go bad, but you don't eat it. This is to show people what you ate in the wilderness." Now, later on, this bowl of manna will be in the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant hasn't been built yet. That rod, that staff that Moses has, that he reached up and stuck out over the Red Sea and the sea parted. Later on, he's going to smite a rock with it, and it's going to bring forth an abundance of water. That rod is going to bud. It's a walnut branch, and it's going to bud. And they're going to put that in the Ark of the Covenant, along with the 10 Commandments, 2 tablets made of stone. So that's what's in the Ark of the Covenant. 2 tablets made of stone, a bowl of manna, and a staff that budded. That's it. It's not a magical device. It's just a box. The top of the box is a seat, and that seat is the throne of God. That's where God comes down and communes with man on the Ark of the Covenant when it is built. It hasn't been built yet, though. But he's telling them now to gather that bowl of manna to keep so that they can place it in that later. Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept for your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. Before the testimony. The testimony will eventually become the Ark of the Covenant. Right now it's just a promise and they're toting a pot around. But that pot will eventually get replaced by the Ark of the Covenant, and then they will tote the Ark of the Covenant around. So it's all metaphor right now. And the children of Israel did eat manna for 40 years until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Took them 40 years to get there. Now, I want you to think about where they're at. Go look at a map. Find the Red Sea where it borders Arabia. And then find Canaan where it's at. And realize it don't take 40 years to walk that distance. It might take a while. It won't take 40 years. So they're basically going to walk around in circles for a very long time. Why? Because they're hard-headed. And God's not going to give them the promised land until they break that hard-headedness. You see, God's people are very stiff-necked. It's just their nature. They're very hard-headed. And they like what they like. And they don't like to be told what to do. And when they're told what to do, they tend to do the opposite. Well, God don't play like that. When he tells you to do something, he means it. If you can break your hard-headedness, it'll happen pretty quickly. But when you realize that it takes a long time for God to do something for you, if you've ever thought, well, God, I'm getting older by the minute. How long is it going to be before you do something here? I've been praying for years. When are you going to do something? Remember this. Remember, it's your own hard-headedness that's keeping the timeline so long. You're obviously not capitulating to what he told you to do. Because if you did what he told you to do, he would do what you needed right then, as he has repeatedly demonstrated throughout the Bible. Now, an omer is a 10th part of an ephah, which is a larger container. Let's call it a salad bowl. An omer is a soup bowl, so it's a 10th part of a salad bowl, which is a 10th part of a pitcher, which is a 10th part of a gallon, which is a 10th part of a 55-gallon drum. I don't know. Why are you asking me these questions? I'm just a reader. Anyway. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandments of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, which means land of the dead, by the way. Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Oh, we're back to that again, are we? Been eating quail every night, succulent quail, squab, and drinking water and eating bread, manna, mushroom, fishy, whatever it is, coriander seed in the morning. And now you're thirsty again. Wonder why. Still haven't learned your lesson, have you? When you stop and there's an abundance of water, fill up some jugs. It's not that hard. Anyway, here they are, in the land of the dead. Rephidim coming from the word Rapha, which means the dead. Anyway. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide you with me? Why are you bickering at me? Chide is a word that means bicker, which also is a word you probably don't understand either. I don't know what bicker means. I guess it's chatter. Chide, chatter, chitter, chatter. Bicker, backer, bicker, bicker, bicker. They're whining. That word we all understand. They're whining at Moses. Wherefore do you tempt the Lord? Don't tempt ye the Lord your God. And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? You know, it's the same old complaint. I'm getting kind of tired of hearing that. Would you really want to turn this car around and go back to Egypt? Make some bricks, get beat, be somebody's property? You really want to do that? Getting kind of tired of hearing you bring that up. You're not in Egypt anymore. You put vinegar on the pulled pork. Anyway. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people. Pay attention. Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod, therewith thou smotest the river, and take it in thy hand, and go. Pay close attention to God's instructions here. Remember, the reason they're in the desert in the first place is to re-educate themselves as to what religion they are. They have lost their religion. 450 years, they have not practiced whatever it is they called what they are. So they're learning how to be what they are again. It's very important that the people see God as the Lord your God, right? They want to see God as the provider, as the healer, as the Almighty. That's very important so that they establish their faith in him. So he tells Moses, Get your stick and the elders and go before the people. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come out of it water, and the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, The Lord is the Lord among us, or not? Remember that. God doesn't like it when you question him being there. Is God here? Is he even real? Right? Don't do that. God doesn't like that. He wants you to believe in him. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Amalek, by the way, is one of the fallen angels' children. There are 9 tribes in Canaan. One of them is Amalek's sons of Anak and the sons of Amalek. So he's one of those groups of people that are hybrids. They're not real people. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said unto him, and fought with Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur. Remember the movie Ben-Hur, which means son of Hur? This is the Hur they're talking about in that movie. Went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. Well, that's easy. Just have that old man hold that rod up all day long, right? It's harder than you think. Try it. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. So he's now sitting on a stone, holding up the staff, trying to keep it up in the air so that Israel's winning the fight. Why is this the thing? Well, because that's what he said. God is a stickler for details. And the people chose that staff as a symbol of belief. So him holding it up was his choice to do. Remember, he said it, I'll hold the stick up. And God obeyed. God said, okay, that's the way we're going to do it. So as long as you hold that stick up, remember, God did not tell them to go fight. Moses told them to go fight. Think about this for a minute now. You know what I've always said? If God tells you to go fight, then go fight, and you'll win. If God don't tell you to go fight, don't go fight. It's not your fight. You'll lose. God did not tell them to go fight Amalek. Moses did. Moses told Joshua, who was a general in their little army, go fight Amalek. I'll hold the stick of God up. Well, okay, God will do that. As long as you can hold that stick up, you'll win. Well, an old man, and Moses is on up there, holding that stick up. It gets heavy. A loaf of bread gets heavy if you hold it long enough. So he's sitting on a rock now, still holding the hand up. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hand. So now there's two dudes helping him hold that stick up, holding his hand up. They can't touch the stick. Moses has to hold it up. But they're like propping his arms up and, trying to build a scaffolding around him so that he can keep his hand up so they'll win this fight. Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side, the other on the other. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. He discomfited them. Didn't say he won. He just made them uncomfortable. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, your guy. He says, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Remember that, says God. Tell Joshua to remember those words. Rehearse it. Tell him over and over again. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yehovah Nisi, which is Yahweh Nisi. Means I am that I am Nisi. I don't know what Nisi means. Doesn't matter. That's the name of the place. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. All right. Take that phrase in and of itself. God has sworn. Who's he swearing to? To Moses, the Israelites. To the Israelites. God swore to Israel he will fight Amalek from generation to generation. You know how long that is? It's forever. So, who are they fighting right now? Do you know? Here comes old stepdaddy. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God has done for Moses and for Israel his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one is Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. That's what Gershom means. And the name of the other was Eleazar. For the God of my father, he said, was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, notice how they keep bringing that up? came with his son and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. We have reached Sinai. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her 2 sons with her. You get the feeling he's angling at something here? He keeps saying, you know I'm your father-in-law, right? Don't forget about old dad here. I got your wife and your kids with me. Think you can spare some of that God juice you got flowing over there? You give me a little bit of luck, maybe a little bit of ace in the hole, something, a little bit of cash. Think you can take care of old dad? That's what's happening here. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and did obeisance. He showed him respect, proper respect, and kissed him, hugged him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. Come on in, Dad. What can I do for you? Well, I noticed that you had this God thing going on, and I thought maybe I could get in on some of that, slip a little to old Dad. Well, Dad, it really don't work that way. Yeah, come on. I can see you got all this money, you got all these people following you. Come on. Help dear old Dad out a little bit, would you? That's what's happening here. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, not mine, Israel's, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done in Israel. Come on, lucky 6, to whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of Egypt, and out of the hand of the Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hands of the Egyptians. You know I'm his father-in-law, right? And now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods. No. There are no other gods. Jethro, he is God. Those are fake. He's real. Don't get it confused. Now that I know the Lord is greater than all gods. Notice he didn't say false prophets. For in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. No. They dealt proudly because people made it up. Not because they did anything. They don't exist. There shall be no other gods before me, says God. Remember that. What's that? Oh, the 10 Commandments haven't been written yet? Okay, well, I'll give you a little latitude. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrificed to God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. Now he's like mingling with the church. He's in with the elders now. He's hanging out. He's networking. He's trying to schmooze in there and get a little purchase on what's going on here. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from morning until evening. Now, there's a lot of people out here, right? And Moses is the de facto leader. So he is the judge and the jury, and sometimes the executioner. He is the leader. He is the governor. He is the teacher. He is the whatever these people need. He's doing all of it, right? So it's a little hectic. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until evening? Well, because that's what God told me to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, Jethro. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of God. I talk to God, see? They don't. I do. So they come to me and ask questions, and then I talk to God and give them answers. That's how this works. Jethro's mind is working over there. You can see the wheels turning in his head. He says, When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. So I'm actually their lawgiver. I teach them the law. And I judge them according to that law because they don't know it so well. So when they have an issue, I fix it. Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Now keep in mind, in those days you respect your elder, and your father or your father-in-law is the leader de facto, right? He is the authority, and you show him respect. Moses' father-in-law is telling him that listening to God and doing what God's bidding is not a good thing. Who do you think is in the right here? What do you mean it's not a good thing? Well, you see, I've had this idea. Maybe give me a little power. Maybe share some of that power you have there with some of us smaller guys, and we'll, back you up. That couldn't possibly turn bad, now could it? Jethro was the first politician, ladies and gentlemen. Angling for some power, some glory of his own. Thou wilt surely wear away both you and the people that is with you. For this thing is too heavy for you. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Well, I've been performing it myself alone since we started this thing, and I've been doing all right. What are you getting at there, Jethro? Hearken now unto my voice, says Jethro with a nice, pleasing voice and a shifty smile and pretty glossy eyes. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. God's already with me. What are you trying to sell water to an Eskimo? What are you doing? Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the cause unto God, their causes unto God. Be for the people, be you for the people to Godward, towards God. Show the people that you are God's man, and then let them come unto you and delegate. Give me a little power, is what he's saying. Thou mayest bring the causes unto God, and thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherewith they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, able men such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and placing such over them, to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of 50, and rulers of tens. In other words, make a hierarchy. Notice this is not God telling Moses who had the authority. This is Jethro convincing Moses, who has the authority, to give up some of that authority to other governors, thus creating what we now know as a government. Jethro. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be at every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, make it easier for you, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Well, God didn't tell Moses to share the burden. He told him to bear it, and he was bearing it just fine. But that grass is greener on the other side of the fence is awful sweet looking to a man that's under pressure. He starts thinking about it. He can't help but not think about it. The worm has started working its way in Moses' ear, and sooner or later, Jethro convinces him it's a good idea. This is not what God said to do. This is what Jethro said to do. Keep that straight. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all the people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened unto the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he said. Now wait. Isn't Moses supposed to hearken unto the voice of God and do all that he says? Why is he now listening to Jethro and doing all that he says? In Jethro we trust? I don't think so. So there's been a shift in mentality here. This is bad. You want to know why Moses didn't make it to the promised land? Why he was so unceremoniously punished by God? So many people over the years have brought this up as a reason to question God. Why did Moses not get to go to the promised land? He did everything God told him to do. Contraire, mon frere. No, he did not. He usurped God's authority several times. This is one of them. He just overshot God for Jethro, didn't even consult God about it. That's not good. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And they judged the people at all seasons. And the hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. Now God did not appoint any of those people. Moses did. You see a problem here? And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. And on the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from the land of the dead, or Rephidim. And they were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel camped before the mountain. And that's where we're going to stop for today. We'll pick up next week and get the 10 Commandments and find out what God thinks of what Jethro's done here, of Moses' new way of doing business. Man, what an intense read that was tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope that it put some things in perspective, that you understand where now our form of government comes from, how it was laid out initially, and how it ended up being I can't think of the word, the way that it's laid out, the nature of government, the structure of it. It all came from this place in the Bible. Moses had what we now call a democracy. And it didn't work for him very well either. Think about it for a while. Consider it. Ponder it. Most of all, reach out with both hands to Almighty God and ask him to pull you into his life. Ask him to come into yours, fix what ails you, to answer what puzzles you, and to soothe what ails you. He'll do it. I promise you he will, if you're following his word. While you're thinking about that, though, please do me a favor. Also, hit that subscribe button. Press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's effortless. It's right in front of you, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms. Helps get recommended to other people. Won't you do that, please? Share this video with everyone you know. Be a pro. Give it to people you love. Give it to people you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me. Drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking critically, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to build here and you'd like to help me build it, if you want to help me reach out and bring more people to God, well, join the channel, buy a t-shirt, throw a super chat in the chat box. But if you feel led to send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings to this humble ministry where you are taught the Word of God correctly, you can do that by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband, or if you're a Cash App user, $JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It is a win-win. It's a blessing for me. Of course it is. But it's a blessing for you too. Why? Because we live in a reciprocal universe and God notices when you take up his cause. Now, I'm going to do everything in my power to be worthy of your support and your trust. I will answer all of your questions and comments as I always do, and avail myself of you 24/7 should you need it, as I always do, starting right now. Okay. What did you glean from what we learned tonight? What do you think about what happened? What do you see as Moses is going about his way, handling the people the way he knows how to? What do you see that could have been different, or could have been better, or worse? Do you understand? Do you gather what they were going through? Do you commune with them? Do you commiserate with them? Do you understand what they meant? Or do you think they were retarded for doing the way they were? Figure it out. Let's go. Aaron says, I think I did it, Jake, so mine is done. Well, I hope that it is effective. I hope that you get what you need to get out of it. I certainly hope that you don't cost yourself more than you can pay. Judy says, hey, Bill. Aaron says, they can't shadow me, YouTube. I'm already dark. I feel like I've read this already. Judy says, hey, Cowboys. Cowboy says, hi, Judy. Aaron says, thank you for your service, Jake. Thank you for your service, Aaron. And Amanda. Amanda is doing good, isn't she? Amanda says, you're welcome, Aaron. Wouldn't you know it, then my chat jumped. Now I got to find where I was at. 909. All right, I got it. Amy says, if it's a desert, what's that? Catchy? I don't know what it's supposed to be. Cacti? Oh, cacti have water in it. Then you can drink in dire situations. Well, not all deserts have cactus. That's an American thing. They don't have cactus in that kind of desert. Cowboy says, I need bottled water per the DHS. I hear you. What's the DHS? DHS. Dishwasher's hand soap. Donner House situation. What is DHS? You need bottled water per the DHS. Department of Health and Services. I'm not sure what that is. April says, amen. Thank you. Cowboy says, a gallon per day. Oh, you need to drink a gallon. Don't drink a gallon of water a day. Drink when you're thirsty. Amanda says, I'm trying to get Jake to drink water, but he's hard-headed. He needs water. I do need to drink more water. I don't need to drink a gallon a day. I'm not gonna. Drink when you're thirsty. Now, if you can drink water when you're thirsty, you'll be thirsty a lot less. But I drink a lot of coffee and Mountain Dew when I'm thirsty, and that's not really good for me. I'm severely dehydrated because that's the way I live. My whole life I've lived that way. I don't drink water. And so my body is getting to the age where it's like, you need to stop this pain shit or I'm going to hurt you. And so I need to drink more water. But a gallon a day is flushing your system out in a way that you're not accustomed to, and that can make bad things happen. So drink when you're thirsty. Bill Bennett says, life straw. St. Vincent, did you live in Lynn? Judy says, Lynn? I don't know, Bill. Where's Lynn? Cowboy says, Lynn, Massachusetts? Ah, Massachusetts. Amanda says, a group of quail is most commonly called a a covey. A covey of quail. Not a murder of quail, or a herd of quail, or a horde of quail, but a covey of quail. Sounds reasonable. Tastes like chicken, nonetheless. Amber says 2.5 men. Squab. Squab. Which is a big squab is a big quail. Mm-hmm. Judy says, no, Bill, I never have. And Judy says, thanks, cowboys. April says, LOL. Amy says, dolphins in the desert? If they're eating those kind of mushrooms, yes. Amber says, I want a dolphin. Amber, have you met April? You guys would get along just fine. Cowboy says, baby dolphins are cute. Yes, they are, and horny. Amy says, I want a desert dolphin, Amber. Eat one of those little mushrooms with the red dots on it, and you'll see them. Amber says, but I also want a pet raccoon, so maybe don't pay me any attention. I'd have a zoo. Maybe. Amanda says, me too, Amber. I love animals. I had 23 at one time, LOL. You will not have 23 at one time here. There's too many animals. We already have 23, and they're wild. Amy says, another example in the Bible where God gives us what we need, not necessarily what we want. Yes. What you want is self-absorbed. It's what you think. You can't see the future. So what you want is not necessarily what's best for you. It's just what you want. You lead with the flesh. The flesh is greedy and corrupt. So what you want may be the opposite of what you need. God will give you what you need because he can see what you have need of. But it may not always be what you want. Seethe means to be in a state of rapid, turbulent motion, like boiling water, or to experience intense, often suppressed anger. It describes extreme internal agitation, literal foaming or bubbling. Yeah, well, in this case, it's talking about how they handle the bread. They seethe it. So that either means to boil it and make a soup out of it, or it means to shake it in a pan and make sift out of it, which they can then make biscuits or whatever. That's the way they're using it anyway. And thank you. Amanda says, a crowded, chaotic atmosphere. The verb can also mean to soak or cook food in a hot liquid. That's what it means. So I'm guessing they're making a soup out of it or something like that. This manna that falls on the ground. They seethe it and they bake it. So they're making various breakfast goods out of it. Like a good cook would, making do with what they have. Amber says, oh my gosh, 23. 23? Animals, yes. Oh my gosh. Amanda says, LOL, yes, Amber, and 5 acres of land. Amber says, 23 cats or raccoons? Amanda says, LOL, no, I had horses, dogs, cats, bearded dragons, pigs, tortoises, and rabbits and snakes. I just have a hog. Amber says, okay, I'm totally jealous, Miss Hammer. Throwing shade. I love that. Amanda says, I did. It was a lot of work and it was expensive, but I loved it. Bill Bennett says, is that the same as having oil in our lamps? Yes. If you're referring to having enough water to go around when you get in the desert, yes. That is kind of the same thing. Which is a thing that Christ talks about in his portion of the Bible about being prepared. This is kind of the same example in the Old Testament with water, and the people not doing so and being caught wanton. If you're caught wanton in the old way of thinking, you're sent to the river Styx. If you're found wanton, you're weighed against the feather of truth. And if your heart is found wanton, you're sent to the river Styx to pay the ferryman to go across into Hades. This basically the idea here is you can't be found wanton in a world where you're in abundance. There's an abundance of stuff in this world. Prepare yourself. You know what the future is going to bring, sort of, so get ready for it. At the same time, don't be glutton and hoard things. Take only what you need to survive, but have what you need to survive. Amanda says, add context, Bill, so he knows what he's answering. Yes, in that case, I understood. But please do add context to your text so I know what I'm talking about. Try to remember that this is a delayed conversation for me, so when you ask it an hour later, I'm going to answer it, but I don't necessarily remember when you ask it or even saw when you ask it, so I don't know what comment I said that you're referring to unless you add context. Judy says, I feed about 50 birds, Amanda. Does that count? Yes. Amanda says, chide means to scold, rebuke, or express mild disapproval of someone. Yes. Typically for a fault or inappropriate behavior. It is a verb often used to describe correcting someone in a constructive or nagging manner. Yeah, and that's what they were doing, nagging Moses. LOL Judy, says Amanda. Dennis is here. He says, bicker, complain, bargain. Yes. April says, hi, Dennis, and hi, Dennis. Amanda says, no, Jake, I made barbecue pulled pork, not vinegar pulled pork. You're in North Carolina. There's only one kind of pulled pork. I keep trying to tell you that. Amanda says, Dennis, hamburger upper hand. And Dennis says, hey, April and Amanda. And Judy says, hey, Dennis. Aaron says, so crazy. This is how I got my name. Yes. That Aaron guy, he did some good stuff. But he did some not so good stuff too, but he repented for it. So Dennis says, hey, Judy. Amy says, divine intervention. I needed to hear this today. My dad doesn't seem that bad after hearing this. Right on. Well, I'm glad. Sometimes the Lord will give you a message when you need it the most. And sometimes you just have to wait until it happens. But he always delivers. And I'm glad you got something out of it tonight, Amy. Amanda says, Nisi comes from the Hebrew word nes, or Nisi, meaning my banner, my standard or flag. And it appears in the Bible as a part of the name Jehovah Nisi, meaning the Lord is my banner, or I carry the Lord's flag in English. That's a good way of putting it. Thank you. And it refers to God's presence protecting and victory as the rallying point for believers, specifically referenced in Exodus 17:15 after victory over the Amalekites. After discomforting the Amalekites. I don't know that they were victorious, but they definitely made them uncomfortable. Bill Bennett says, Lynn, Indiana, and the oil in the lamps was something about keeping Christians safe. Don't remember. Well, it's about being prepared. It's about being ready to go when the Lord gets here, having your oil lamps full so that you can see what's going on. Also, when your bridegroom shows up, you don't want to have a dark house. You want to be lit up and ready to entertain, right? April says, thanks, Amanda Love. Heart, smiley face, and thumbs up. Amanda says, you're welcome, April. Cowboy says, thumbs up. Amber says, sounds like me with my children. I'd tell them judge, jury, and prosecutor on site. Step up. I'd even offer them a phone call. Bill says, thanks, Jake. I'll rewatch later. My eyes are heavy. God bless you all. Untethered fam is awesome. Yes, they are. And thank you for being here, Bill. April says, always God. Always God. Amanda says, good night, Bill. Amy says, don't call me Shirley. April says, good night, Bill, love. God bless, heart. Cowboy says, good night, Bill. Judy says, Bill, never lived in Lynn, but I do have oil in a lot of my oil lamps, as you should. April says, I get it now. It was Jethro. It was Jethro. Jethro is the first politician who instigated the first government to be established. And I'm sure he got his 30 pieces of silver out of it. I don't know what Ellie Mae did. Jed, he just went looking for oil. And he ended up moving to Beverly Hills. Amanda says, great read, Jake. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for keeping up with me. Making sure I get my ducks in a row and know what I'm talking about. Amy says, thanks, Jake. Prayers. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and I'm glad you got something out of it tonight. April says, thanks, Jake, love. Thank you, April. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Amber says, your chat's about to jump. Hang on. Amber says, what a reading for today's world. Only what you need. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate you. Linda says, thank you, Jake. Heart and prayers. Thank you, Linda. God bless you, sweetheart. April says, yes, absolutely. Hearts and wavy hands. Cowboy says, yep, Amanda's doing real good. Yes, she is. Amanda says, thank you, Cowboys. And Amy says, DHS is Department of Homeland Security. April says, much love to you all. May God bless us all. Sweet dreams. Good night, April. Thank you for being here, honey. I love you. I think it's about to storm here, so we've got to batten down the hatches here pretty soon. Amanda says, night, Bill. Night, April. Cowboy says, good night, April. And, oops, sorry. Amber says, smiley, smiley, who? Sweet dreams, April. Hearts and smiley faces. Angela Ashkin says, I need prayers. I feel like God had me where I am on my for a time. And that time is over. I want to move on. I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do or not. I feel I'm supposed to be with my son. Where's your son? And you have prayers, Angela. I pray for you twice a week. And I'll pray for you 3 times if you need it. But the answer to that question is simple. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. You said you feel like God has you where you are supposed to be for a time, and that time is over. What does that mean? And I want to move on, but I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do or not. What is stopping you from moving on? If the time is over for the thing you were doing, there's nothing holding you there, right? So move on. That's a simple enough answer. And where's your son at? If he's here on this earth, go be with him. Cowboy says, tiny phone, long fingernails. It's my problem. You go, girl, with them long fingernails. Wow. Amber says, Cowboy have long fingernails? Interesting thought. Maybe she's girling out tonight. Amanda says, I hear you there, cowboy. Me too. I just clipped mine, LOL. Cowboy says, smiley, smiley, message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it. Angela says, cowboys, mine is the fat thumbs. I don't have long nails. Well, Lee Press-On can fix that. Amanda says, well, I'm from Florida, so I don't know North Carolina pulled pork. Well, you live in North Carolina, so learn it. I get a pass. It was delicious. It was delicious. It needed some vinegar, but it was delicious. And I ate it. So, if you're in North Carolina, learn the lingo. When in Rome. Amanda says, I cook Southern and what I know, LOL. I'll learn more. Then you can still do that. Debbie says, and Granny shot the varmints. Yes, Granny shot the varmints. Jethro looked for oil. Granny shot the varmints and ran off to bank people. What was his name? I can't remember his name now. The bank guy. Amber says, hugs, y'all. Have a blessed night. I know y'all next podcast. Amber, thank you for being here. I love you. God bless you. Amanda says, not all. See you Wednesday night at 8 p.m. 30. Right here on Untethered Live. For a chill stream. Much love, y'all. Thank you. Cowboy says, bye-bye, Amber Grounds. Angela says, my son is here on this earth, and thank you, heart. Well, that sounds like the answer is simple. If the time is over for what you were sent to do, if you've done it and it's over, go be with your son. Don't feel bad about that. Don't question that. That's where you should be. But prepare for what you need. Have what you have need of prepared. Don't just go plop yourself in a situation. Be ready to handle it, you know. Make sure your money's right. Make sure you have a place to go. Make sure you have food to eat and you can take care of yourself and then go be there. And that will be the right thing to do. And then bloom where you're planted. If you are truly done with the thing God set you to do. If you're not, then finish what God set you to do. Very simple answer. I hope that helps. Angela says, good night, Amber Heart. And Debbie says, I guess Jake told you, Amanda. Jake, what is your favorite flower? Orchid. What is your favorite flower? Amber says, Miss Hammer, smiley face and prayers. Amanda says, LOL, Debbie, I'm the cook. He can add what he wants to it. And Cowboy says, I'll pray for you to decide. Right on. Amanda says, make sure you order a lot of them, Debbie. What are we talking about? My funeral? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah, you're forgetting the other side of that coin. That ain't how it goes around here. Like white lilies, says Debbie. Lilies are nice. Lilies are simple and nice and white. Dennis says, take care, all. Dennis, thank you for being here, brother. God bless you. I'm about to put it to bed. I got to go to work early in the morning. Deal with the drama. Well, it was a good read tonight, I thought. Got a lot covered. Angela says, it's becoming mental abuse being where I am. Mike, who I take care of, is so miserable, and I get all his nastiness, and I'm tired of the negativity and toxicity, and thank you. All right. Well, if it is your job to take care of a person, then you take care of that person. But You are not under an obligation to be abused. That is not how God works. So, if you can't get him to change that behavior, take your ball and go home. Nobody will look down on you for that. You have done your job. You have taken care of the person. You have given of yourself selflessly, which is what you're required to do. And nobody will fault you for taking care of yourself. His sister's here. She can take care of him. And you're not leaving him alone. So you go take care of what you need to take care of and be proud of that. God will understand that. And your God is a very intelligent God. He sees all things. He knows what's going on in your life. And he doesn't have the wonder that you have. He knows everything. So it's not a question to him. It might be in your mind. You might not know what you need to do, but he knows. So you just be firm and do what is right for you. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're happy. And anything that you have extra that you want to give to someone else, that's your business to give it. It is not their business to take it. That's not how that works. They can't take of you. You give to them, and that's the way it works. So don't feel bad about that choice. If you want to go be with your son, go be with him. I'm proud of you. That's right, Debbie. Save the drama for your mama. Daddy's here to work. Jake's mantra. Ha ha. Right on. Amy says, Angel, prayers and hugs. Amen to that. Angela, you're a good woman and you putting in a lot of hard work. God sees that. Be proud of yourself and be proud of what you've done. And now go take care of you. Okay? Angela says, thank you, Amy, and thank you, Jake. My pleasure, sweetie. All right, any questions? Any ideas, any thoughts about the read tonight? Anything you want to know? Anything you need cleared up? I'm here to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to go lay my little butt to bed. Because I was a tired little man. They say you can only burn the candle at both ends for so long. I hadn't figured that out yet, so I'll let you know. Angela says, I missed the read. I'm sorry. Well, there's a rewind button. You can go back and catch it. Rough night. I hear you, honey. Well, this read is here forever. You can catch it at any time. Amanda says, good night all. Amy says, peace all. Much love to you all. Well, much love to you, Linda. I read two at once. Sorry. Amy says, peace and bacon grease. And Linda says, good night all. Much love to all of you. There you go. And then Angela says, I will watch it. Well, thank you. Heart back at you. Thank you for watching. And Linda, good night. I love you too. And Amy, wipe that grease off. Bacon grease is only good on bacon. All right. God bless each and every one of you. I love all of you. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Thank you for listening and being attentive and having questions and comments and adding your thoughts into it all. Means a lot. We're doing a good thing here. Thanks for still being on. I needed you all. Angela, I'm not going anywhere. I will be here for the foreseeable future. You just keep on coming back, okay? We need you too. Debbie says, Angela, to thine own self be true. Do what is right for you. Amen. Cowboy says, heart. All right. I love you all. Be nice to people. I promise it'll make you better. It'll make your life worth living. Just let your inner light shine. In Matthew, it says, let your inner light shine so that people know you are of the Lord. Let it shine. Show people who you are. You're a child of God. It's time you start acting like it. All right. I love you all. Have a great night, and I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks for watching.